Hey everybody, this is Matt Smith, Sheepdog Response. We're out here on a cold Central Texas day in January, New Year 2025. We're out here today testing 300 Blackout. We got the Palmetto State Jakl. It's not the 308 version, it's the 300 Blackout version. We're waiting on that 308 version ourselves. But we're gonna do some testing today out of this sweet gun with this sweet round. Come and join us. Let's talk a little bit about what we're shooting today. Top to bottom, the rifle, the equipment that we have that we're gonna be shooting for testing today. As I said before, this is the Palmetto State Armory's Jakl, chambered in 300 Blackout. Starting at the top, Silencerco was nice enough to outfit us with this, the Velos LBP, fantastic suppressor, joined with their muzzle brake on the front. For optics, we got a Leupold LCO. They don't make them anymore, but it's still a great optic. We still have a lot in surplus. And then we've fixed a little bit of furniture on this. This is a Sauer Minimalist stock, still collapsible. As you can see on the Jakl, because this is a short barrel rifle, it does have a Picatinny rail there. So we just put a Sauer's Picatinny attachment buttstock on there, and it's ready to go. That's what we're gonna be shooting today. That's a fantastic weapon system with a lot of sweet furniture on it. So let's talk quickly about what the 300 Blackout is. If you don't know what a 300 AAC round is, all right, it was made by Advanced Armament Corps, late 2000s, and it was to bridge the gap between pistol caliber carbines, which were shooting pistol rounds, all right, and the 5.56 that came out of the M4 or the AR platform. They wanted something in between, something more rifle, a more rifle-like round, but they could suppress like a 9mm. And so those folks got to work and they came up with what we know today as a 300 Blackout, a very popular round for home defense.
But this is going to be useless without the ammo. So we got some subsonic and some supersonic rounds from Nosler, from Hornady, Federal, Palmetto State, Freedom Munitions, and some specialty ammo from Phantom Defense. All of this ammo, nobody's sponsoring us for this video, or none of this ammo is, except for Phantom Defense. They sent over some bougie, some specialty ammo that we're gonna try out today. We're gonna be looking for cavitation and penetration when it comes to what the difference is between the subsonic and the supersonic. We're also gonna be measuring how loud and how effective these rounds are. So let's jump into it.
Okay, so first up, we're gonna test the first row, and the first row we have is supersonics. So the first of the rounds that we're gonna test in the supersonic category is the Hornady Black. Hornady Black 110 grain VMAX, right? Fantastic name for a 300 Blackout round, black, and that's what we're gonna test first. So let's get started. Nice, so you can see the path, a lot of cavitation, but on top of that, really straight path. Of course, it's supersonic. You can see where the second block caught the round. Mushroomed nicely. Portion of the lead there, most of the jacketing there, but you can see where the tip came off right as it starts to cavitate. So it did what it was supposed to. That tip comes off the Hornady, and that's what starts the cavitation, dude. That thing ripped through, and it left a lot of soot. There was a lot of soot in there. Probably because we're shooting a short barrel rifle. It's gonna be a little bit sooty around. Nice and dirty, but man, this is a work of art. Look at that. Look at the way it left the cavitation. It looks so badass.
I wanna like hang this on my wall of the house
yeah.
when we get done with
Dude,
this.
Nice connection right through. Just awesome straight bullet path. Made it through. Dense gel, man, what would you say that is? Probably 2 feet, two feet plus of penetration through dense gel. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, nearly identical results. Same thing, you can see the ballistic tip comes off, just like in the Hornady, ballistic tip comes off. A little more fragmentation down here, like part of the casing, part of the jacketing, part of the jacketing, part of the slug here, and then a big chunk of the slug made it there. Not quite as much penetration, but that makes sense because it was moving a little bit slower, right? That thing was moving at just under 1900, and the other one was moving just over 2000. So the Hornady Black had a little more push, right? But still a great cavitation in about the exact same place.
You can see it's
almost
split into
identical.
two right
Yeah,
here,
a piece of it came out through the top of the gel there, but it maintained a pretty direct
see
flight
that slow-mo.
Yeah, probably a piece of the jacketing made it out, maybe even a piece of the lid. But I can really see that slug in there. The majority of the slug is still
That's probably why it slowed
there.
down though, because it split up right here.
Yeah, but big chunk of the chunk of lead there, chunk of jacketing, the tip back here. But both of those rounds performed
You can see
exactly
it
like
changed
I said
angles
they
right
would.
here
Yeah,
on that split.
yeah. Next one we're gonna shoot is the Federal American Eagle. This is the 150 grain, so it's a little bit heavier than the other rounds, right? So we'll see how that performs. It's not the Hydroshock ammo, we didn't get that. This is just the standard 150 grain Federal American Eagle, and it's full metal jacket. We'll see how it performs at a little bit higher weight. I think that one exited through the top because I saw a little bit of smoky discharge. Yeah, it exited. A little bit of lead, jacketing and lead there. And then it button hooked up and came out through the top there. Not quite as much. I mean, you can still see cavitation. The cavitation obviously is deeper in here. Look at this, it extends farther. It starts in about the same place, but it stays wide all the way through here. I could see some smoke exit through the top of the gel, so it went out through the top of the gel there. And so the added weight of that round, you got a little added cavitation for sure.
The exit pattern here, it's like wide. It's like a nickel could fit in that hole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That cavitation's endured. Most of it is starting to close up here on the other one. The other one, that cavitation stayed, had heavier round, more mass.
Yeah, it was nice and flat right there. That's how wide that is.
Next one we're gonna be shooting is Palmetto State Arms Sabre, right? Another badass name for a 300 Blackout, right? So the Sabre black tip, this is 110 grain, all right? So should be a little bit faster. Let's see how it does. That one's right there, right where I shot.
Oh, way down there.
Yeah, that one cooked.
Looked really wide back there too.
That probably got deeper penetration than any of them.
Yep, it does. And it stayed together.
And it stayed together. Yeah, it didn't fragment as much as the other ones did. You got that nice cylindrical slug all the way down there. It's just flat in the front end. It just edged out the Hornady.
It rotated. That's the back part of the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rowdy boys next.
Now we're gonna step it up to Phantom Defense. And like I said, folks at Phantom Defense sent us these. We're eager to try them out. It's a 300 Blackout round, just like the other ones, 110 grain. They call this one the Rowdy Boy, the Rowdy Boy. The velocity they're saying here is coming out at 2450. Now we're shooting a shorter barrel, so we might shave a little bit off that. We have on most of these rounds. They've been coming out slightly slower, but a lot of energy. Let's give it a shot. Definitely the coolest of the cases. They send it out in their custom case. So let's see how that one does. This is the Phantom Defense. Cool looking round. That thing looks insane. Wait, gonna want to get that on camera because that thing looks terrifying. Look at that thing. Oh boy.
It reminds me of
that is the Rowdy Boy.
Who Killed Roger Rabbit, when they pushed that those the bullets in the revolver.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what that reminds me of.
So far, the highest velocity, 2,248 feet per second. So definitely hauling the mail.
How much did we lose on that one?
It was claiming
about 200 feet per
yeah,
second.
only 200 feet per second, even in a short barrel. But that thing was definitely moving faster than any of the other ones. It was cooking and not much louder. Right about the same noise level. Boy, you can really see it. It slapped that thing hard, boy.
Yeah, kind of folded too. Oh,
yeah, it mushroomed nicely and folded forward. So it entered right here. Lots of cavitation all the way through to here. The cavitation ends in the second block here. Just comes to an end in the second block. And there it is. I can touch it. I can feel it. Mushroom nicely. That, as far as the bullet profile for self-defense, that's the best looking one so far. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, literally tightened on that.
But man, did it move that thing, some energy, dude. Some energy got imparted because it made that whole gel jump, dude. I didn't even shoot it that much lower. It was nearly center. That whole gel jumped up off the table, probably because that thing mushrooms so fast. Yeah, perfect bullet profile. All right, next one we're gonna be shooting is also from Phantom Defense. Only this one is called the Spicy Boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, Spicy Boy. Phantom Defense put this one together because they're trying to make one with a little more performance like a 5.56, all right? But still maintaining the cool factor of the 300 Blackout. This thing should be trucking. It is, they were able to get the performance out of it of nearly 3,000 feet per second. We're gonna shave some off that, but if it's even moving nearly as fast as that last one, this thing's probably gonna cook right through, we'll see. That other one had an awesome profile. 1,610 foot-pounds of energy is what they're claiming. It's again, comes in a sweet case, looks cool. Can't beat the look of this thing. This is the Spicy Boy by Phantom Defense.
85 grain.
Let's get spicy, 85 grains. Let's see how it does. This thing was doing 2,491 feet per second. So definitely the fastest round we've shot yet. Spicy Boy, 2,491 feet per second.
We lost about 500 on that one.
Yeah, with a short barrel, we're shaving about 500 feet per second off, but man, that thing was still cooking compared to the other ones. That thing, I watched it open way up, dude, when it hit. It didn't make it nearly as far. That thing mushroomed. It didn't even make it into the second block. It's right here.
Oh, shit.
It's right there. Left a copper trail as it was cooking through there. Look at that, that's wicked, dude.
Yeah, it looks great from this angle, too.
But bro, did that thing open up? I could watch the end of the gel open up when it hit, dude. That sucker went, ugh. I was looking at a big hole right where it hit, right through the optic. So that thing opened up fat right as it hit. Mushroom's still that great profile, so it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, especially for a great defense round. Yeah, it's opened up like a tulip in there, dude.
Yep.
And there's a copper trail going all the way through that thing, and look how fat that thing got. Right off the bat, like I'm not joking, I was looking at like a 2-inch hole at the front of this gel. As soon as I saw the impact, I could see into the guts of that thing.
That's a great self-defense round because it's fast, but it doesn't penetrate as far.
Yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. I'll be damned.
It's a lighter weight. You can tell that the weight obviously had a lot to do with penetration.
Yeah, for sure. It didn't have as much mass, but man, that thing was hauling the mail, dude. But dude, the cavitation, you should have, when I watched it right around the red dot, it just opened up all around the red dot. I was like, yo, I thought it knocked the thing off the table.
Right.
That was supers. That was all the supers. We got subsonics from all those same manufacturers. Let's test those out. We'll throw in a new block. We'll throw them out there. We'll throw some subsonics in there. We'll see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen. Will we get less cavitation? Will we get less penetration? Likely less penetration, but I guess it depends on the bullet profile. It's all wizardry. Who knows? But let's test it out. That's why we're here with some clear ballistics so we can see how it performs. So now we're on to the subsonics. Like I said, same manufacturer, one addition to the party here, but we're gonna shoot them in the same order, starting with Hornady Black. Well, this time the Hornady Black Subsonic, that's a 208 grain AMAX, 208 grain AMAX Hornady Black. So this is Hornady's addition or entry into the Subsonic, and then we're gonna go through in the same order that we did, so let's get it started. Oh yeah, that one hooked hard and went right through the table. Let's see if you can see a hole through the table.
Yep.
Let's lift this cat up, dude.
Yep, there's a hole in the table.
You can see the hole where it went through the paper. Yeah, that button hooked hard down. It was cooking. You did get some cavitation though.
Yep.
Some decent cavitation. And then man, it really yawed.
It's wide. It's wide this way, but skinny this way.
Yeah. That's probably because the bullet yawed.
Yeah.
So your cavitation is just because that bullet yawed and then continued on the path, went down. But this time it yawed and came outside. So same thing is happening here between these two rounds, and you can see it clearly. It looks like the exact same profile, right, as you're going through. This one, the Nosler started to yaw a little bit sooner. That makes sense because it was going a little slower, right? So because it's all one piece, it yaws, that changes the path and it comes out the side. So that's what we're seeing here. It's only 2 rounds in, But now there's a little bit less predictability in the exit path of these things. One took a hard hook down and went through the table. This one took a hard hook to the right. But if you see the cavitation, you can see they yawed nearly exactly the same. So nearly the same performance. A little bit slower on the Nosler at 900 and change feet per second. And so that's why you can see it started to deflect a little bit sooner in that gel. It had a little bit higher velocity. You can see the cavitation doesn't start to yaw until a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, so the heavier the grain.
It did exit out the top of that joker. I could hear it go whizzing off over the target in the back.
Yeah, the smaller grains in the Supersonic were breaking up, causing huge cavitation, but the heavier ones are waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah, but you get nearly the same profile as that bullet yaws and everything. Look, it was just slicing through it. Just cut the top of the gel right there. So just the tip. But they're all doing the same thing. So there's a trend of, yeah, little change in the predictability of the path with these. Although that's a lot of dense material to shoot through, it does have some effect on the path of these things. So a little bit tougher. And if you look at the front where I've shot them, 1, 2, 3 right across. So all the entrances are level right across right where I'm aiming. So as far as accuracy, they're hitting right where I'm aiming. It's just they're taking a different path. Each one of them is taking a different path. And that one looks like it hooked and went low. Again, all different, very
another hole
different
in
paths.
the table.
Another hole in the table, yeah. That one went out through the bottom. Did it make it into the second block?
No.
Just.
Maybe it did. No, I don't think it did.
It like hooked out and, yep. It came out just before it made it into the second block. Oh, actually, right where the blocks came together, that's where I can see the path now. Just at the edge, so all of them are having this pretty much the same, profile, with the exception of that one that was moving a little bit faster. And the next one we're gonna shoot is the next entry from Phantom Defense. I'm really excited. Of all the ammo that we shot today, this is the one I'm most excited to see the results of. But you might wonder, like, well, this ammunition says that it's shooting at a certain velocity, but I keep stating that we're shooting a short-barreled rifle here, and so you will get changes in the velocity. You're not going to get as much velocity as you would. Some of these even state, especially on this one, it's very important, because they said, hey, we got these velocities, 1,050 feet per second, with a 12 to 18-inch barrel, right? I'm sorry, 12 to 16-inch barrel. With a 12 to 16-inch barrel, yeah, of course you're gonna get more velocity. So we're losing velocity, but the reason we chose this weapon system, we asked for the Jakl so that we could test it out, is because we know that with 300 Blackout, this is what most people are shooting. Most people are shooting short barrel rifles for these. That's what the round was designed for. And so we wanted to shoot it as most people would. A defensive rifle setup with a suppressor to see what kind of sound we got, what kind of performance we got out of the type of rifle that people would shoot 300 Blackout through. That's what it's for. Now, you're not going to get the numbers that the manufacturers put on here, but they're still great numbers, and that's why you can refer to the video and see what kind of velocities you can expect from these rounds if you get these rounds. And so far, the Phantom Defense are performing greatly. Let's see how this next one does. Next one is called Phantom Defense 220 grain Big Brother Copper Expander, the Big Brother Copper Expander. I want to see the copper expanding. The velocity they're claiming, again, in a 12 to 16 inch barrel, they're saying they get 1,050 feet per second at 539 pound-feet of energy. We'll see what we do. We're not measuring the energy, but we'll take a look at the velocity and we'll see what this thing does. I want to see what a copper expander does. Look at the difference though in this round, and you can see it's clearly got a hollow tip. You can see it's got a scored jacket, so that thing's going to expand. I think this one is, we might have to shoot more than one of these just because I like the way it looks. But this thing is really gonna, this one is really gonna bring the sauce. Big Brother, let's see what it does. But I watched it come back, dude. Did it penetrate? It might have penetrated and ejected. That thing flattened so fast. Woo, look at that thing, dude.
Bro, imagine
that's the home
body,
wrecker,
bro.
dude. That shit looks like a grappling hook. Bro, that thing did not even Did it go?
Yeah, it came out right here.
Oh, it did. Yeah. It just button hooked because of the way it hooked. I was like, all I saw was it pop back, and I was like, dude, did it just get rejected? But it did not. Oh, wow, that is nearly perfect. What a surprise, because I just saw it come back, but actually, it's got the straightest path of any of them. It was true to its path, got deeper penetration, and it sent that gnarly beast through. That is nearly perfect. I don't know if you could expect a more perfect bullet profile than that. That is exactly the way they intended it to work. That's pretty colossal. Actually, because if you didn't see it, that thing exited right here probably, and then it came back and it landed in the dirt just in front, maybe a foot out in front of this thing. So it lost all velocity, came out here, bounced, and bounced back. All I saw was that thing tumbling through the air, short distance. Not enough to come back with any kind of lethal velocity. But I can't be more impressed with how that thing opened up nearly perfectly. I want to shoot one more just to see if it does that.
They had fun making that one.
When I see this and I say, hey, there's a great subsonic round, gets the right amount of penetration, but then when it comes out like that, which means this thing, this gel took enough velocity off it that you're not going to get over penetration. That's what everybody's after with a subsonic, right? I want penetration, I want stopping power, but I want over penetration, especially if I'm defending a house or a ranch or something like this. I want to know that with the round, if it makes it through, it's not going to continue through and do damage to other things or people, right? And they have nearly done it. You could take that thing right to the pond and probably catch a bass with it. That looks like a treble hook. Purely scientific, no, I'm just kidding. Mostly because I just want to see it again. I want to see if I can get one of these things to hook in the gel. This is them. Again, this is Phantom Defense Big Brother. That's a 220 grain copper expander. Man, did it expand. That thing looked like a grappling hook. It looked awesome. And we got nearly exactly, even with our short barrel, we got almost the same velocity. We got 1,000.6. We just shaved about 50 feet per second off of that thing. But man, it still expanded perfectly. Or even at those low velocities, that thing expanded great. I'm gonna see if I can get one to stick in the gel. I'm gonna shoot a little bit lower, see if I can get it to stick in the gel just so we can see that thing in the gel. So let's try it again. But again, this is just for posterity's sake, mostly because I love this round so far and I just wanna see if it does it again. Dude, look at the path that thing cut. That thing cut a gnarly path, dude. You can see right here where it expanded. Look at, see the 3 different prongs? And it's spinning as it goes through. Yeah. That is wicked, dude. Shit. That thing, it's still going.
Yeah, it didn't tumble at all.
It's still stabilized, even when it opened up. It opened up about it. Not even an inch in, just short of an inch in maybe an inch in. You can see where it opened up and it stayed open and continued to spin on a stabilized path, cutting a sweet little corkscrew. Looks like a churro of death right there because it left that same copper path, cut straight to, came to a halt. Man, that's almost 2 feet. And that thing is sitting there perfectly like a little grappling hook. That thing looks badass. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Thank you, big brother. Hey, solid round. That thing is epic. But if all of them perform like that, that's a fantastic round. It's certainly a specialty round, but that's a fantastic round for defense right there. In my opinion, that couldn't have gone much better. Well done. Last but not least, Freedom Munitions Hush. It's the only one that we didn't have a comparable supersonic for, but we're shooting this subsonic. It is a 220 grain, hollow point, boat tail, Hush. Let's do it. Let's see how quiet it is. But 89 dBA, so much for Hush. It was a little bit louder than all of them.
Don't tell anybody.
Wait a minute. That's the hole. It went in, it yawed right there. I can see where it left that one and went into the gel here. And then it hooks. Oh, down, it came out here. That's why the other one jumped. It came out right here.
Oh, it hit the table. You can see it where it hit the table.
It just pinged the table though. It didn't even penetrate. It just bounced off it. You could see it was moving so slow by the time it exited. But that sucker exited like a 45-degree into the berm that way, but it bounced off the table. You can see, like, take a look at this. This little spot on the table where the round hit it. It was just barely enough to crack the table, but it didn't go through it. Not the quietest. What was the
89.8.
89. It's still, so Hush is hovering at one of the loudest of the Subsonics, right?
It's the only one closest to 90.
In summary, there's a lot of 300 Blackout, different types of ammunition on there, out there. They range from reasonably priced to pretty expensive. And there are people that are still doing work in this field. So different types of 300 Blackout ammunition is still coming out. These folks over at Phantom Defense, they're putting out new stuff and they're doing some pretty creative stuff. So try them out, see what works for your rifle, your system, the way it's suppressed, the barrel length, the twist rate, all those different ballistic factors. Come out, do some testing. Don't necessarily have to test it on ballistic gel, but do get an idea of how it performs, how it feels, how it runs in the gun. Honestly, the Hornady performed very well. The Nosler performed very well. Very consistent, the two of those. I think they were both the most consistent, but without a doubt, my favorite was that big boy. The Hush was the one that surprised me the most. Honestly, I was expecting it to be ultra quiet based on the name, but it wasn't the slowest. It wasn't the quietest. It was decent, but not bad. Palmetto State, not bad. Nosler, good. Hornady, all performed as expected, those ones. The Federal was a little here or there, but still nice, good. But honestly, those folks at Phantom Defense, I like what they're putting in the chili over there, man. That big brother was a sweet round. I think that would be an excellent home defense round. And all of those, even with our shorter barrel, performed nearly identical to what they claimed. So you can tell they've done some testing. All these are good ammo. Every one of these is a good brand of ammo that you could reliably shoot, you know, probably, but you got to make your own decision based on your weapon system. Jakl, you got anything?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we kind of set the conditions with the short barreled, with the suppressor, with the supersonic and subsonic rounds. Again, like Matt says, if you can't get this exact setup, you got to find the rounds that are going to work with the gun that you already have. So basically you're not going to create a gun around the ammo or the ammo around the gun. You got to work with what you have. If you have the money to buy a setup that's going to be similar to the conditions that we set for today, then go ahead and do so. Other than that, you are going to have to get these rounds, buy them on your own, take them to the range, get you some ballistics gel from Clear Ballistics, test them out for yourself and see what works best for your gun. What you guys didn't see, some of the rounds didn't allow the rifle to lock to the rear or even eject. Luckily, this one has a gas tube that you can adjust those things on. But that's exactly, if you watch our video with Coley on the War, he said the same thing. The gun's great, but you have to take the ammo. Sometimes the ammo is not going to agree with the gun that you have, so you're going to have to test it yourself with whatever setup you have. Every gun has its own temperature, just kind of like rounds do. Even the same round that we shot several times had different velocity and different DBAs. So you're just going to have to get with what you have and get the ammo that's going to cooperate with your gun and see basically what the purpose of the ammo that you have is going to be used for.
Yeah, and if you want to test them, like Jakl said, that Clear Ballistics Gel, very reasonably priced, probably the most reasonably priced on the market, and it's reusable. You can melt it down, clear out the goo, reform it, and bring it out to range. So you could test, as long as you have a range that can support it, make sure you're doing it safely. If you want to get some Clear Ballistics, get some Clear Ballistics. If you want to get any of this ammo here, it's all commercially available. Get your hands on one of these Jakl. It performed great. So Palmetto State Arms Jakl, highly variable. You can do all kinds of different stuff. Great weapon. Great setup. You can do this testing yourself and see, and then you know for yourself. But I recommend trying out some of this Phantom. Look into Phantom Defense because it seemed to perform very well.
Also, check this out. What's cooler than saying that you're shooting spicy boys out of a Jakl?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
they make their own custom cases, a 3D printed case. Phantom Defense, like what's really going on over at Phantom Defense? All right, I don't want to blow it. They did send it to us for free. I'm not going to blow a bunch of smoke up their butts, but it performed well. So the proof's in the pudding, man. It did really, really well. So the proof's in the gel, I should say. So now we're going to melt our gel down and do some more testing. If you like this video, subscribe, click like. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out and it gets the video fed to more people so they can learn more about this type of stuff. Like and subscribe, and then check us out at sheepdogresponse.com.